In the summer of 2023, I came to the realization that not everything is democratic just because its label promises to be. The author and neurobiologist Michael Nehls appeared as a guest on a right-leaning libertarian YouTube channel where he spoke for an hour with the channel's owner, and after checking his professional reputation, I decided I wanted to buy his book, The Indoctrinated Brain, for my birthday. I worked through the book and summarized it, eventually developing the script for a video. During deep R.E.M. sleep, new nerve cells, known as index neurons, are generated in the hippocampus. These index neurons link up with cells in the cerebral cortex to store the day's new experiences. Consequently, after a long day of intensive learning, a student may find it difficult and hard to absorb new information by the end of the day. It is only during deep sleep that the hippocampus generates new index neurons. The formation of new nerve cells strengthens psychological resilience. Furthermore, the integration of new knowledge and experiences with cells in the cerebral cortex is achieved through their connection to index neurons in the hippocampus. The hippocampus is physically limited space for index neurons. This means that at some point it can no longer accommodate new ones. In turn, this implies that beyond a certain age, new information derived from the new knowledge and experiences can no longer be processed and stored. Anxiety, stress, and loneliness inhibit neurogenesis. These psychological stressors, along with inflammation caused by COVID-19, inhibit neurogenesis and impair critical thinking. Stress hormones counteract the generation of new index neurons. New index neurons compare an individual's current life situation with existing index neurons. If psychological strain, stress hormones, and inflammation result in the production of too few new index neurons, while stress hormone levels remain excessively high, then depression and restricted expansion of autobiographical memory ensue. Conditions such as dementia arise from a limited or absent process of linking new index neurons with the day's new experiences, or even from the degradation of already existing autobiographical memory. Psychological stress resulting from isolation during lockdowns promotes neurodegenerative processes and impairs, in particular, the hippocampus and autobiographical memory. This exacerbated psychological stress, such as anxiety, loneliness, depression, and sleep disturbances, particularly among adolescents and young adults. Loneliness in older adults inhibited neurogenesis, thereby increasing the risk of dementia in the elderly. Among adolescents, stress levels were high enough to disrupt the crucial R.E.M. sleep phase, fostering neurodegeneration. Given that neurogenesis occurs during healthy, undisturbed R.E.M. and deep sleep. Neurodegeneration is a premise for people more readily accepting a new narrative for the global construction of a uniform identity that is as all-encompassing as possible. Neurodegeneration facilitates the acceptance of new societal narratives and the formation of a uniform identity. Lockdowns and vaccines trigger neurodegenerative processes. COVID-19 vaccinations and the spike protein impair the hippocampus and inhibit neurogenesis. This neurodegeneration occurred to prepare the population for a societal shift, the Great Reset. The loss of autobiographical memory leads to a loss of personal identity, leaving the individual as merely a shell or ghost of themselves as the depenalization through the deconstruction of autobiographical memory progresses. SARS-CoV-2 was deliberately created to trigger neurodegenerative processes, thereby driving the disintegration of the autobiographical memory and personal identity. Changes in the hippocampus destroy memories and impair critical thinking. This makes it easier for technocrats to implant their new narratives into society. With the inhibition of neurogenesis accompanied by the decimation of the still existing index neurons, the precondition was created for overwriting previously used index neurons in order to store new information, example given narratives. This is the neuropathological premise for human receptiveness for new narrative and for the global construction of a uniform identity that is as all-encompassing as possible.